The director is in. Information about what it means to self-direct your DD services and how to do it. Presented by Kelly Donovan, Sue Donovan, Karen Keohan, and Andrew McQuaid.
All right, I'm happy to see that the recording is in process, so we don't need to worry about that. So far, so good.
Hi, I just want to say I thought the opening session went so well this morning, and I had sent Mark Cutler a chat in the chat message, but Kelly Donovan and I were at a family gathering this week a couple of nights ago, and Uncle Joe Canoia was doing the cooking for us. And Joe is a big fan of Mark Cutler's, and he had lots of wonderful things to say about him. And it's just really kind of cool that Uncle Joe and Kelly have a mutual friend, Mark Cutler. And Uncle Joe and I were kind of talking about how cool that was. But again, it is Rhode Island.
Very cool.
I'm proud to know those folks too, and all of you as well. But Joe and I go way back, and Kelly and I go back a few years now. But Joe's always been #1 to me, top notch, and I'm really happy to be here.
Mark, I got to say, it was very awesome to be part of my first ever song for Advocates.
It was awesome for me too. Believe me, every time we write a song together, it's just such a beautiful experience, and I'm proud to be here, and I'm honored to be here. But I think we came up with a really good one this year, and I'm just really happy that everybody brought something to the table as usual, and you brought the best out in me too, so I appreciate that. I know, you should know that, and I just want you to know that you guys did a great job, and it wouldn't have happened without you. So here we are, and thank you for having me. And I'm going to mute myself because I'm going to have an hour.
Me too.
Thank you, Mark. I think all of our panelists are back with us. So I thought that we could start with just doing self-introductions, and then we'll go into our topic, which is the director is in. This is a session that is meant to share information around self-directed services. So my name is Andrew McQuaid. I am the Individual and Family Supports Coordinator at the Sherlock Center. I'm also a sibling of 2 Rhode Islanders with disabilities, and started my work as a direct support professional. With that, I will turn it over to Kelly to introduce herself.
Hello, my name is Kelly Donovan. I am an individual with a disability who receives services, direct support services, and with funding through Option/Fogarty Center, and a peer specialist with Advocates in Action Rhode Island, and a graduate of the 2017 Leadership Class Series.
Thank you, Kelly. Karen, I'll turn it over to you.
Thanks. And I'm Karen Keohan, and I am a direct support professional, and I've been working in the field since probably about 2007, I think. And yeah.
Thank you, Karen. Last but certainly not least, Susan Donovan.
Hi, my name is Sue Donovan, and I am the very proud mother of Kelly Donovan. And Kelly has 2 adult brothers, Stephen and Peter, and they live in Boston. And Kelly has a sister-in-law, and Kelly has a beautiful 3-year-old niece. She'll be turning 3 tomorrow, and her name is Hazel. And I'm happy to be here on this journey. I like to tell people that my children brought me to meaningful work, and I work at Ripon, and I've been there for 18 years, and the agency's mission has kept me there.
Okay, hi, my name is Ali Agara. My name's Ali Agara. I was doing the Advocate in Action. I did like way past more maybe 6 years. I did 6 years. I did. I also graduated from going down college with Andrew, who's still working there now. And yeah.
Thank you, Allie. Maybe we'll go around and just do quick introductions of the other folks who are here as well. Crystal, how about we go over to you real quick?
Hi, my name is Crystal Cerullo, and I work for Rhode Island Parent Information Network. I also I help kids in a program that are going to be going through transition in high school, and might be looking at adult services possibly through BHDDH when they graduate. So I help with transition resources and applying for BHDDH adult services. But then on the side, I also still write plans for individuals that get self-directed services.
Thank you, Crystal. Matt Pierce.
Yes, hi, my name is Matthew Pierce. I also received funding through BHDDH, which I have a developmental disability. I currently have my work employment through CW Resources, and I get my living fund, my living through Living Innovations based out of Warwick. And I am also a student in this year's class of the leadership class 2021.
Thank you, Matt. Megan O'Leary.
Hi.
Megan, would you like to share anything about yourself?
No.
All right, thank you so much for being here. Kim and Ryan Foucher.
There we go. Say your name. What's your name?
Ryan Foucher.
This is Ryan Foucher. I'm Kim Foucher. Hi. We are new to self-directing. Actually, we'll begin all our services in November. And so we are just interested in finding out what Rhode Island has to offer and all the different programs and hopefully meeting new people.
Thank you for joining us. Laurie Champagne.
Hi, everybody. So happy to be here today on this beautiful morning. And I'm so happy that everybody's being able to get out a little bit more now that, people are more vaccinated. And I really have enjoyed everything this morning. I work at Buddha. I'm a social caseworker there in the DD division. And I've been a social caseworker with the state of Rhode Island. It'll be coming up to 32 years this September. I've worked at a couple different state departments, but with DD about 9 years now. And I have about 10 plus years experience with developmental disability individuals. And I have to say, it's my favorite group of people. And I feel I get more back every interaction that I have with the people on my caseload. So very happy to be here.
Thank you, Laurie. A man who almost needs no introduction, Mark.
Hi, folks. I'm Mark Cutler, and I'm a musician, but I also I'm the director of a program called the Same Thing Project, and it's a program designed to integrate general population with folks who have different abilities, and we all get together and we write songs together. So, you could have a banker, you could have a bricklayer, you could have a person who's autistic, a person who has Down syndrome, you could have, a giant, you could have like a whale come in the room, and we all get together and write a song.
Oh, Mark.
Well, it could happen, But anyway, that's what we do, and we're going to start getting. COVID kind of upset our apple cart, but we're getting back together in August at the Hope Artiste Village, and everybody's welcome. It's a free program, and I'll have more information, the closer we get to August. But I'm so happy to be here, and I'm honored to be here, and thank you. Thanks for having me. So I'm going to shut off now.
Thank you, Mark. Last but certainly not least, Keith.
Yeah, my name is Keith, and I get my services through Buddha, and I do work. And Mark always writes all the leadership songs we sing at the classes and the conferences. So thank you all the time, Mark.
Thank you.
Everybody.
Thank you,
You're all
Keith.
right, I'm Keith, but thank you.
So this session that we're in is called The Director is In, and it is intended to share about self-directed services. Self-directed services is a way that you can use your BHDDH funding to really control the types of services that you purchase, that affords you the opportunity to hire your own staff, and really have full control of how you use the money that you receive from BHDDH in the Division of Developmental Disabilities. So we thought that the best way to start talking about self-directed services is to talk to someone who actually uses self-directed services. So I'm really excited to be able to have the opportunity to ask Kelly Donovan a few questions about self-directed services. Kelly, I'm wondering if you could start by sharing with us when you got started with self-directed services.
So when I was in high school, I did the under 21 program pass from 9th grade to about like the beginning of 12th grade. And then we lost access to that service until like when I was 19 in 2013. I started working with the lovely Karen Cohan since November 2013. Well, technically, I was still with the past under 21 program until I turned 21, and then I went through a transition period before I was able to have go into adult services.
And Kelly, what are some of the benefits or maybe some of the things that you like most about self-directed services?
The things that I like about self-directed services are some of the flexibility of when you schedule getting together with your worker, and how you have the choice of like you can pick your own activity, and what time of day you can, and it also helps like give you a sense of structure, because as a person with autism, I need that sense of structure throughout my day, and it helps me also with some of Karen's feedback. It helps me try new things at my own pace.
Thank you, Kelly. I think some of what you just shared is really important. In self-directed services, you create your own schedule and you hire who it is that who's going to be supporting you. And I liked what you said, that, it gives you a lot of flexibility, that because you're in control, you get to choose, when you're doing something or when you're choosing not to do something. So thank you. What you shared with us some of the positives, some of the things that you like about self-directed services. Can you talk to us a little bit about what some of the drawbacks are, or maybe some of the things that you don't like about self-directed services?
Well, there aren't that many things that I dislike regarding self-directed services, but I don't care. Sometimes they'll be like on the weekends, or sometimes they'll be last minute social get-togethers, either with my friends or events offered by like agencies, but they're outside of hours of when my worker is available or when we usually do our hours. And sometimes also there can be like difficulties for when a staff person is sick and I'm not always able to find staff to staff for an activity that I was hoping to do, or like a plan that we were hoping to get together is canceled. But thankfully my parents are able to help step in when they can.
Yeah, so one of the things that I'm hearing you say is that it's important to have supports beyond just the paid supports that you have through your self-directed services. It sounds like you utilize family and other people in your life when you aren't using your paid supports. Is that right?
Yes, like my and it's also good to have natural supports, not just like your family members, but friends or like connections to people in your neighborhood based on like the places where you frequent in certain towns, or it's like my mother, a lot of people have always said it takes a village to raise a child.
Yeah. Thank you, Kelly. How has self-directed services impacted your life? Maybe how has it changed things for you?
Self-directed services has helped me learn more about how to take care of myself, like being able to function in the real world, like help me with budgeting, time management, cooking, shopping, understanding of boundaries. Thanks to self-direction, I have grown immensely as a person, and I've become like stronger and a more mature person than I was, say, in 2013. And it's helped me grow. And without self-direction, I do not know, or especially without Karen, I do not know where I'd be today. Like I was more uncertain of the future of what I was doing with my life, but now it's like, I wouldn't say the future doesn't scare me at all, but it doesn't scare me as much the way it used to. So
Kelly, what are some of the things that you do through your self-directed services?
quite a lot. So Karen and I, we like to go grocery shopping for some of the staples. The library, I'm a frequenter of the library. Go out to lunch, do some cooking around the house, help with chores, go visit and hang out with some of my other friends who also have self-directed support workers. But back when movies were a thing, on very rare occasions we used to go to the movies. And before, the pandemic, transportation to my workplace and to school and to my doctor's appointments and stuff. So basically, like the whole 9 yards, we do a lot.
Thank you,
And
Kelly.
she also comes with me to work and helps with advocacy and action related stuff. And yeah.
Thank you, Kelly. Really appreciate getting the viewpoint from you on self-directed services. We're going to transition over to Karen, who, as she introduced herself, is a direct support professional in self-directed services. Karen, we'll get started by just sort of learning a little bit more about why did you choose to become a direct support professional?
Yes, well, it kind of goes back a long way when I think about it. Our youngest son had difficulty with communication, and we were fortunate to have early intervention come in, and a speech and language therapist would come into the house, and through song and games and physical activities, she taught me how to help develop language. And so first words came, and then sentences, and it was pretty profound, or moving to have that happen. And then sort of fast forward ahead, and our family moved to Rhode Island, and I knew it was time to think of a new career, think of a new job, and I wanted something that was meaningful, and I definitely found it. I applied for a job at the Groden Center and worked with this amazing family with 2 children who had disabilities, and it was, I got to use those skills that had been taught to me, like using games and songs and physical activities to develop language. And so that's kind of how I got started.
Thank you, Karen. So you've been a direct support professional, and really curious, why do you love being a direct support professional, specifically supporting someone who self-directs their services?
There is a lot of creativity, I think, and there is flexibility and a certain sense of freedom in it. And I love that that it's individualized to Kelly and what Kelly, what her interests and loves are. And I mean, when I first met Kelly and I saw her drawings, and I don't know if anyone noticed all the artwork or a lot of the artwork of the little people that were brightly colored. That's Kelly. And when I saw those, there we go. Yes.
Yes.
When I
Thank
saw
you,
those little
Kelly.
drawings, I was just, I was like, this is amazing. This is a talent. And so, it was great that then Deb, recognized this is a talent. And, so it just, things like that just, make me happy. And it makes me happy to know that, she feels, supported and understood and respected.
What are some of the supports that you provide to individuals that you support?
In the past, it's varied. I started with younger children and then, worked up to young adults and then adults. And, but, it could be anything from learning how to ride a bike safely and know what a stop sign is, and so that eventually in the community, you're able to do that, safely on your own. Let's see, I've helped teach someone how to dive because that's what they want. They just had that goal. They wanted to learn how to dive headfirst into a pool. What else? Oh, we've done like RIPTA travel training where someone maybe needed to get to school or they wanted to visit a family member in Northern Rhode Island. And it was, 2 buses and the schedule was confusing. So we would work on things like that. But there's, I'm trying to think what else. We've done, as I said, it really starts with what the individual wants and needs. And, each person is so different. I've worked with someone who doesn't like to go out of the house. And so, that's a whole different set of things that we work on.
Well, and actually that provides the perfect transition to the next question, which is, I think one of the things that we've talked about is that self-directed services make sure that the person is in control, the person is in charge. And so as a direct support professional, how do you make sure that the person you work for is the boss?
Yeah, I try to take their lead and, I ask myself, are they asking for help? Do they need help? And, often I can be guilty, being a mom of wanting to, kind of jump in. And I realize that it's not usually necessary because they need trial and error. They need the chance to practice. They need those opportunities. And it's, if I think about myself when I've needed help, sometimes I just want to do I want to try first. I don't always want somebody to step in and say, you look like you need help or, so I've tried to follow their lead.
Thank you, Karen. We're going to turn it over to Sue. Sue, I have some questions for you now. So Kelly shared with us that she was making decisions about self-directed services as she was transitioning into adult services. And you were someone who was supporting her as she was making some of those decisions. Why did self-directed services seem like a good fit for Kelly?
So as a family, we decided to try the self-directed because we weren't afraid to do it because Kelly had tapped into the past services, personal assistance and support services in the under 18 or under 21 world. And because we had that experience and we were working with the provider that helped us implement that at home, it didn't seem like too far of a jump to do that with adult services. When we went into BHDDH services, we were willing to give that a try. And I felt confident that I would be able to help Kelly with the paperwork, with payroll, and with being able to make that all happen. And I'm very good at asking a lot of questions. I seeked out information from Ripen, Sherlock Center, and from folks who were doing self-direction. So that was probably it felt like an easier transition for us. And then it also, it was more flexible. We were able to, as a family, help Kelly do her person-centered planning and figure out what she wanted to do with her life. And there was more flexibility. So Karen would be able to help Kelly navigate higher education. Kelly wanted to go to college. Kelly wanted to go to work. There were a lot of things that Kelly wanted to do that seemed a little bit overwhelming to me and kind of all over the place. And it was like, well, this doesn't fit in one box, so we're going to need more flexibility. And with doing the self-directed and hiring staff, we could make those dollars, stretch them, go a little bit further, and have enough staffing to be able to have Kelly supported at the college level, at the work level, at the community level. So those were like kind of the two biggest reasons. And fortunately, as long as my husband and I are healthy enough to be able to continue to support Kelly in that, I don't see why we need to change, unless Kelly has changes and her needs change, or as a family, we have needs and they change. One thing I wanted to kind of add on, Karen is really help with Kelly, helping her do planning and problem solving, and also cooking, and also accessing, like helping her navigate higher education and registration and picking courses and connecting with the disability support services. And as a parent, I'm so grateful to have someone help her with that, because I do work full time and it's hard to juggle that. And it's so nice to have Karen supporting Kelly in that role.
Thank you, Sue. One thing that you said that I thought was really important to highlight, and you're absolutely right, is oftentimes in self-directed services, you can actually use your funding and stretch those dollars a little bit more to receive more hours of service than what you might be able to get from receiving your services through an agency. So I think that's an important note, and which also sort of leads to that next question, which is from your point of view, Sue, what are some things that you think are important for folks who are here to know about the differences of using self-directed supports versus using an agency to receive your services?
So with self-directed, I do find that we're more on our own. So we have to network. We have to like connect with people and reach out, so that we find different resources. When you're not with a provider, the provider kind of, you've got access to all of the resources that a provider can leverage. So you can't be you can't be a quiet, shy wallflower, just sitting waiting for someone to come and talk to you. You kind of have to be a Tracy Cunningham Martins. You have to like go out and talk to people and introduce yourself. Unfortunately, Kelly and Karen are very good at that. They pay attention, they make connections, they talk to their friends, and they start those important conversations. It's like, oh, so, Heather, how often do you get together? Oh, is that something that anyone can join? They're always looking for opportunities out in the community to do some fun, free or low cost things that don't cost $1 million. And you've got to pay attention to that. And so that takes work. And not everyone can do that, or not everyone wants to do that. And that's why sometimes working with a provider may fit someone's needs better, or differently, and that's fine. And also with self-direction, you can also purchase some services through a provider. It doesn't have to be all or nothing, if Perspectives, and I'm going to pick on them because I saw Kim in the breakout session this morning. If Perspectives has got an awesome jewelry making class, and Kelly has decided that she is going to make jewelry and take over the fashion world. Hey, well, Kelly can like purchase that service from Perspectives and go once or twice a week with her girlfriends or whatever friends and make jewelry. That's terrific. And that's kind of nice. And it is, and this past year, I've learned a lot working with the Sherlock Center, working with Fogarty Center, and working with some different providers about some of the things that Medicaid has decided, hey, we're going to make this easier for you to be able to purchase because we're having a pandemic and it's really hard to get out and to do things. So yes, you can take your Medicaid dollars and you can use it to buy technology. You know, maybe you need a Chromebook or an iPhone or something to be able to access the community, or maybe you need some software so that Kelly can do those wonderful art drawings on her computer to use for work. So these are the things that it's important when you self-direct, connect with different groups and people so that the more you learn, the more you know, the more you can access and utilize the services that are available. And just one more thought, I got to give a plug, even though Andrew will probably do this anyways. Through the Sherlock Center, I signed up for the Self-Directed Users Group, which is a listserv, an email listserv, and Andrew McQuaid and Claire Rosenbaum are overseeing it and making sure that it continues to grow and send out pertinent information, and sometimes not pertinent, not important information. And that's why you have a delete button, right? That's why that was created. If it's something that's really, you can delete, but usually 9 out of 10 times the emails that are coming through from different families or consumers or friends or direct support workers are kind of giving us great ideas, and we're able to share some ideas, and sometimes we're able to promote, hey, I have a friend who is an awesome DSP, but looking for more hours. Who's looking for more hours in the East Bay area or in the Providence area, or who's looking for this or who's looking for that? So it's a great communication tool. So if you self-direct, it's okay to be shy, but don't be afraid to connect and ask good questions.
Thank you, Sue. I think that's so important because you're right. It's one of those, you don't know what you don't know. So asking a lot of questions about self-directed services can be a really good way to learn about all the different things that you can do. You brought up a good example. Just because you self-direct your services doesn't mean that you can't purchase some services from a provider agency. You can purchase employment services from a provider agency. I know Perspectives actually, you can purchase services from their community liaison who helps connect people to their community. So you've got choices and you've got options. One of the things that we wanted to do today is also just share some resources because we do think that you should ask questions and you should learn more. One of the best places to learn more, and I'm biased, but it's the Sherlock Center. So I'm going to put in the chat, but I'm also going to share my screen. If you go to www.sdsri, self-directed services ri.net, you will be able to learn a whole heck of a lot from really one of the smartest folks I know about self-directed services, Claire Rosenbaum, who was an early advocate and champion of self-directed services, and who just knows a whole heck of a lot, and we appreciate her for it. So you should be able to see this on your screens, fingers crossed.
Yes.
We can see it.
Oh, right. I love when technology works. One of the things that I want to point out is right on the homepage, you can actually go to this resources section. You'll see this list up here at the top, home, getting started, frequently asked questions. If you click on resources, we often encourage people to use this first link right here, overview of self-directed supports. If you click on this, it actually goes to a YouTube video that Claire did with RightPin to talk about self-directed services. It's a great place to just get started, to get an introduction to what self-directed services is, how you can use it, how to use it as best as possible. and to get some really good information. The other thing that is on the Sherlock Center's site is this getting started. So once you've had an opportunity to watch the video, maybe you want to know about what are the steps that I need to follow in order to self-direct my services. And so you can actually kind of take this step by step, making sure that first you've been found eligible for services from the Division of Developmental Disabilities, then choosing a fiscal intermediary, which is an important part and an important person or organization that's going to help you as you're managing your money that you receive through the division that you're able to use in your self-directed services. So there's a lot of really good information on a step-by-step of what to do. Another area that we really encourage people to take a look at is exactly what Sue just referenced, which is you'll see at the top that self-directed services user group. You can actually go right here and you'll see this section that says click here to join, and you're able to sign up to receive information. But let's say you haven't self-directed your services, but you're thinking about doing it. The self-directed services user group is a great place for you to join and then say, I'm thinking about self-directing my services. Is there anyone out there who would want to talk to me or who could share with some tips or some tricks or some information? And I guarantee you within an hour or two, you'll immediately have a handful of folks who are saying, absolutely, I'd be happy to talk to you about self-directed services. It's a really amazing community of other folks who self-direct their services and a really great resource. So we encourage you to access that group. The last thing that I will, or the last two things that we'll look at is in the resources section. There are some really good tools that we think are useful and important. As we noted in self-directed services, you hire your own staff. And so you're going to want to get some tips on how to recruit and retain really good staff. And we really encourage folks to look at this: find, choose, and keep great DSPs. Sue and Kelly and Karen talked today about needing to connect with your community, and that being an important part of people's lives, and particularly individuals who choose to self-direct their services. We really love the resource Friends, connecting people with disabilities and community members. It's a really, really great resource. Then the last thing that I'll show on here is that, as I said, fiscal intermediaries play an important role. And there's information about what is a fiscal intermediary. We haven't talked about it too much today, but they're one of the providers that will help you again in managing the funding that you receive through the division and that you use in your self-directed services. And so the division is actually the ones who approves providers to be fiscal intermediaries, and there's contact information right here on our website so that when you're ready, you can connect. And we encourage you to talk to a few different fiscal intermediaries so that you interview them and you decide which is the right one for me, which one is going to be a good fit for me. And it's not just, I felt compelled because I love the Sherlock Center, but it's not just the Sherlock Center that has great information about self-directed services. There's an organization called Applied Self-Direction. And we think it's important that you get points of view, not just from Rhode Island, but really from around the country and even around the world, because self-direction is not unique to Rhode Island. It's not unique to the United States. So there's, I put in the chat a link to appliedselfdirection.com. They've got a great conference every year where you can learn more about self-directed services. And so we wanted to share that resource with you as well. So in these last 5 minutes that we have together, Sue,
because I have not been talking about my services.
I'm sorry,
I haven't talked to you about about my services. Yeah.
Great. So do you have a question about self-directed services that you want to ask?
Well, I've been doing my direct services through Perceptives. I started since September. But right now, I do have funding with Buddha. I did have Ride, I had boot up ride. I have a lot of jobs. So for my services, I've been doing the bus training. All of my partners through Perceptives are been helpful with me. Like they want me. I took courses in college, and through my services, I've been telling them what I want to do. Like all the activities I asked them to do, but I don't go to the library, but I've been going to different ones. Like some things I do really miss going. There's some things I really miss. Is one of them is bowling. I go bowling, and since this virus started, I haven't been going back to bowling yet. So for all of those years, I started with my day program through Perceptives. We did bowling. We did going out to parks. We did not. I know some things that we did not do, like we haven't been to the beach yet. We need to start planning for that yet. Like for me though, for me, I have been living my dreams through my services that I've been doing. I learned that they always been making me home, but now my own thing for me is that I've been gonna be moving to a different part of Rhode Island. So I'm gonna live in Westerly. So for Perceptives, I'm gonna be joining a different day program. And it's still gonna be Perceptive, but I'll be gonna start moving to a different part of the island. So I have 2 jobs right now. So I'm not doing my services now yet. I am still doing it, but I'm right now probably doing it. I'm doing it remotely.
Thank you so much, Allie, and Andrew, thank you so much. This has been a wonderful session. Did anyone have any last minute questions for Kelly before we transition to the main room?
Well, enough for me though, Kelly. I'm gonna move to Westerly, Rhode Island. I'm still doing Perceptives, my services for that. Sometimes it's not hard to move. I have moved since in the past, but I am gonna start with that.
Great. And
That's
so Allie,
terrific.
I think Allie brings up a good point that, some individuals working with a provider agency can be a really good fit for some individuals. And so it's really about making sure that everyone knows that they have a choice and that they have control over whether they choose to use services through a provider agency or if they choose to self-direct their services.
Unfortunately, we weren't able to record the entire presentation for The Director is In. Please visit our website to download a copy of the materials used during this session, along with additional resources about this important topic, at www.advocatesinaction.org/2021 conference.